Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. So in this video, I'm going to share with you briefly important things you must take note on your I-20. If you are applying for student visa, your I-20 is an important document that can make or break your visa decision. So make sure you watch this video to the end. I'm going to give you some of the things you must do to use your I-20 to get your visa approved. The first thing you must watch out for when your I-20 is issued is to ensure that everything, your personal details and information are correct. That is very important. The I-20 is your personal document. So you have the right to negotiate with the school on what comes on the I-20. So if there's an error, reach out to the school as soon as possible and draw their attention to correct it. The next important thing, most important on the I-20 is the money, especially for those of us in West Africa, in Nigeria, in Ghana, Kenya, which is not West Africa, yeah, Kenya and all other African countries. The money part of the I-20 is very, very important. Usually, schools have their own way of capturing information on the I-20. When the visa officer takes your I-20, there are two things that he checks: the program of study and the money. The visa officer will check the funding, so he will check the cost of attendance, tuition, living expenses. Then he will check who is paying. Make sure that all the time the balances are equal. The total on the left side and the total on the right side are equal. Make sure that whoever is paying for you is captured. For example, if it is captured as family funds, in that case, you can go with your parents' bank statement or your uncle's bank statement. But if it is captured specifically in the name of your parent, you cannot go with your uncle's bank statement. If it is captured as a personal fund, you can also go with your parents' bank statements and all that. As I said, schools have their own way of capturing information on the I-20. So make sure that the I-20 is consistent with your story. Negotiate with the school. There are some schools that will put all your balance on your bank statement on the I-20. When that happens, the right side, that is the funding side of the I-20, will be bigger, larger than the cost of attendance side. That is a big red flag. When visa officers take the I-20, they don't have time. They only check quickly. As soon as they see that huge amount of money on your I-20, they're like, what? How can this person pay? It raises alarm. Make sure that the school will state only the deficit on the I-20. Assuming you had $1,000 scholarship and your total cost of attendance is $41,000, make sure that the person paying or the sponsorship side after the scholarship, the rest will be $40,000, so that each side of the I-20 will balance. You don't want to raise alarm. There are some people who argue that when you state what is on your bank statement, everything on your I-20, and it is big, it shows, it proves that you can pay and the visa officer will approve. No. It doesn't work that way for me. And in our experiences, especially in embassies in Africa, they don't think in that sense, because getting that money in Africa is huge. For example, if you need 40,000 and you have a bank statement that has 90,000 and the school states the 90,000 on the I-20, as soon as the visa officer sees the 90,000, he may think that your sponsor is giving you 90,000 or your studies is costing you 90,000. They don't have time. It's just 1 minute in the interview. And ask yourself, 90,000 in Ghana cedis is a whole lot of money. How will your parents get 90,000 to sponsor you? Even if they have the money, the visa officer will be like, why would they spend this money on you? Meanwhile, the actual amount you need is 40,000. Assuming you go into the market to buy this iPhone, no matter the money you have, if this iPhone is $1,000, you wouldn't say I have $15,000. No, you pay for what the iPhone is, the cost of the iPhone. The purpose of the I-20 is to show that you have money to pay for your studies. That is why when you go, they ask you about your sponsor. They give you the opportunity to explain. It is at the interview that you explain what your sponsor does and why your sponsor can pay for you. So make sure that the I-20 is consistent, especially the money side. Most people who get denied, we've encountered a lot of people who get denied because of the I-20. We have to let them change and write emails. Sometimes the email must be strong emails. Sometimes you must justify, because some of the schools are not willing to adjust it, and you must let them know that this is my own, it's my document, it's in my name. And it is me who is sponsoring. It's my father who is sponsoring. My father said he's not sponsoring me with 90,000. My father is sponsoring me with 40,000. So I want 40,000 to reflect on the I-20. It is your document. Negotiate and talk to the school about it. Also, make sure that the start date on your I-20 is enough. When you go for the visa interview, and for example, your start date is January 15, and you go for your interview let's say January 14th, it will affect your visa approval. Visa officers want to believe that when they approve the visa, the student will have enough time to attend classes. So if it suggests to the visa officer that by the time they approve the visa and the time your visa is ready, you cannot attend classes, they believe that you may abuse your visa. You may not go to school when you come. So that can affect your visa. In most cases, the best way you can go about it is to talk to your school for them to give you a letter stating that they have given you permission to start a week later. In that case, when you go for the interview, clearly state to the visa officer that my I-20 says that start date is 14 January. However, I have a letter here from the school that has permitted me to arrive late should my visa is approved because of the date issue and delays I had in getting a date. That will be very relevant in getting your visa approved. Don't allow the start date and the visa interview date issue to affect your visa approval. Another tricky issue about the I-20 is the program. There are some schools that have different program on the admission letter. The program we apply for is not exactly the program they state on the I-20. It doesn't mean it's not the same, but the way they write it, the coding, the code of the I-20, the code that the I-20 accepts is different. In most cases, if it is easier, because sometimes the name of the program on the I-20 is longer, right? Somebody is coming to do plant science, and on the I-20 they've stated a long plant medicine and agriculture science, right? So sometimes that can be tricky, but I always advise people, in order to be on the safer side, tell the visa officer what is on the I-20. If the visa officer asks you what program you are going to pursue, then you tell the visa, oh, I'm going to do plant science. That is what is on the I-20. Don't tell the visa officer what is on the admission letter. You can say what is on the admission letter, but sometimes try to let the visa officer know. And I believe in most cases, the visa officers also know some of these differences. So just be mindful of that. And when you are filling your DS-160 form, I think it will always be helpful to be consistent. State what is on the I-20 in the DS-160 form. When you go for the interview, state what is on the I-20. Finally, make sure you sign your I-20. Sign at the bottom. If you are less than 18, your parents will have to co-sign with you. If you are above 18, you sign alone because you are grown up, you are borrow, right? You are pata, so you can sign yourself. Adulthood, they say that scam, it be true. I know they think it be true. However, and most importantly, make sure you sign your I-20. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and let us know your thoughts in the comment section. If you have any question, if you want to reach us, check the video description section for our email, our website, our WhatsApp, and just reach out to us. We'll be happy to assist you. Always remember that theology is fine. Trust me.